right, second grade artists, we are going to make some art inspired by Vincent van Gogh today. So you're going to need Model Magic, you're going to need a pencil, and maybe some scissors. Let me grab those things. All right, I got my scissors and pencil. We're going to first roll our Model Magic into a sphere. So that, of course, is a 3D circle. Next, we're going to roll our Model Magic back and forth into kind of like a little sausage shape. We're going to separate our Model Magic so that it's in two pieces, but we don't want two pieces that are the same size. We want one piece to be a little bit bigger than the other piece. So find the center of your Model Magic. We're not cutting, but then move it to the side a little bit. So that's where I'm going to cut. So this is a little bit bigger, and I have a little smaller piece over here. So we have this little marshmallow-sized piece, and then this other piece that's a little bit bigger. We want to save the little piece and take the big piece, roll that back into a circle. It might be easier to roll it on the table. Now we're going to flatten that circle into like a pancake shape. So take your hand and press down. So right now I have kind of a thick cookie kind of shape. I'm going to use my fingers to push it even flatter. We're making the base, so like this part of our little sculpture. So I'm just going to pinch and squeeze and kind of stretch it so that it turns into more of an oval. If you want to keep it as more of a circle, that's okay too. But I'm going to pinch it so it's about as thick as a pencil. And I'm going to set it back down and just kind of press just to make sure it's all really smooth. Right now, my Model Magic is very smooth. I'm going to use a pencil and a gentle pressure, which means I'm pushing really, really lightly into my Model Magic rather, to write my name. So my pencil's really sharp, so it worked pretty well. If your pencil's not so sharp, that might be a little tricky, but you can do it. I'm kind of pulling and stretching it a little bit too. We don't want it to be too thin or it's not going to be very strong. So about the thickness of a pencil. And the next thing we're going to do is add some texture. So I'm going to use my scissors. I'm going to press into my Model Magic to make some vertical lines. This is going to change the texture of the Model Magic. You can see that once this dries, it'll feel a little different than the smooth side. The other type of texture that I like to add is to poke lots of little dots into the Model Magic to make some little kind of like swirly star shapes. We don't want to just poke everywhere to make texture. We want to be thoughtful with how we put texture on our art. So I'm going to keep adding these tiny little dots kind of in like this little spiral shape. I don't want to poke too hard, but I do want it to really look like it's changed a little bit. The other thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to use the eraser side of my pencil and kind of push in some other shapes for some more texture. So I have changed my Model Magic already. The background now has a lot of different texture to it. Let's start making the flower. I'm going to take a little pinch off of my extra piece of Model Magic. So it's the size of like a small grape maybe. I'm going to roll it into a ball and then swish it flat between my fingers. So now I have this round shape. Let's stick that on there. That's going to be the center of my flower. Let's make some petals now. I'll show you again. There's the center of my flower. You can put that wherever you want. That's just where I want to put mine. I tore off another piece of Model Magic. Let's make a petal. I'm going to roll it in between my hands into a little sphere. Now let's flatten it into a cookie. So I have this tiny little flat cookie shape. I'm going to hold it at the bottom. Okay, so I'm holding just the bottom part of my little cookie. And now I'm going to take my other hand and I'm going to pinch the top. So what I did was I pinched to make this more of like a raindrop shape. And I am going to stick that right kind of like next to that big circle. We're going to repeat that step. So we're going to roll, sphere, little ball shape, squish it into a cookie, hold it at the bottom, pinch the top. So we're going to keep making those little raindrop shapes. We need to make sure we save a little bit of Model Magic just to make sure that we have some left for some other details. I think I could probably fit 2 more. Let's keep going. Roll, squish, pinch, and then keep adding. Maybe I can fit 2 more. Roll, pinch, pinch again. So maybe you want to put your petals facing with the tiny side facing the center, so like closest to the circle. That's fine. I just thought I'd do something different so you could see 2 different ideas. The next thing that we're going to add is we're going to take the little bit of Model Magic we have left and we're going to roll it to be a really long, skinny piece. So this is called a coil. It's like a long, skinny snake of Model Magic. I'm going to put that onto my flower at the bottom, and I think I would like to curve that around a little bit to make it a little bit fancy down there. And I have a little bit left, so there's some different things we could do with our little extra, right? Like maybe I'll pinch it into a little tiny butterfly shape, just kind of pinching and changing it. Maybe you want to make it into a little ladybug or maybe another flower. I kind of just have a little bit, so I'll just add that little butterfly on mine. I'm also going to poke some texture into the center part of my sunflower, and then I'm also going to kind of draw a couple more details. So if you get this far, that is perfect. If you have a little extra, find a way you can use it on your final. And we're going to add some color next.